For many years now, the superhero genre has dominated the entertainment industry, culminating in a spectacular climax with Avengers Endgame. After Endgame, the superhero genre was in a "what now?" situation. After a decade of intricately building these characters and their stories, there was growing speculation about audience burnout. This is similar to the 2010s era, when vampire movies and shows were at their peak, with Twilight, The Vampire Diaries, and True Blood all doing extremely well. But as those vampire narratives reached their saturation point, a similar trend seemed imminent for superhero stories. The emergence of superhero fatigue among audiences began to seem likely, especially as films like The Marvels and Blue Beetle failed to captivate viewers, suggesting a waning interest in traditional superhero narratives. Just take a look at all of these videos covering the topic. However, the popularity of shows like The Boys and Invincible indicates that the genre is still very much alive. These series strike a powerful chord with viewers because they present new, fresh angles on the superhero genre. But let's take a closer look at that. What exactly sets these series apart? Why do these shows offer us something different? The Boys is a unique interpretation of the superhero genre that explores the negative aspects of superheroes existing in our reality. It challenges the traditional superhero story. The shows contain violence, gore, and satire, and it doesn't hesitate to depict the negative aspects of human behaviour. Instead of emphasizing heroic actions and rescuing others, it explores the negative impact that comes from having immense power. The heroes are depicted as being self-centered, focused on their own interests, and sometimes even behaving like villains. Take the case of Homelander in the aeroplane hostage scene. When I was first watching this scene, I thought, as usual, the hero's gonna come and save the day. What really piqued my interest was when he blew out the control panel by mistake. So at this point, I was already conditioned by Marvel to think that he's ultimately going to save the day. When he decides to leave the civilians to die and even stops Maeve from saving a couple, that is when I really felt that, okay, this is different. These aren't your typical superheroes. The Boys also uses humour to critique the ridiculousness and double standards in the world it presents.
She's got help.
Girls get it done.
And cut a rehearsal, no one move, no one move, Starlight.
Moreover, the Seven's participation in commercial activities from movie deals to merchandise and even publicity stunts serves as a brilliant satirical commentary on the commercialization of superheroes, reflecting real celebrity culture and the profit-driven ethos of superhero franchises. This blend of humour and satire effectively questions and critiques the intertwined and often conflicting realms of power, celebrity, and media. The show does not have clearly defined heroes and villains. Every character, including the seemingly noble Starlight and the ruthless Homelander, has their own flaws and motivations. This aspect makes the characters easier to relate to and compels us to confront our own moral judgments. With Marvel, we know that Thanos is bad, Killmonger is bad, Ultron is bad, but as ruthless as Homelander is, can we really blame him when we see how Vought treated him as a child? Then there's Butcher, ostensibly the hero, yet his actions often starkly contradict traditional heroic ideals. For instance, his relentless pursuit of Homelander and the Supes leads him to make morally questionable decisions, like when he uses a baby with laser eyes as a weapon, demonstrating a willingness to cross ethical boundaries in his quest for vengeance. This introduces a layer of unpredictability to the script and storyline. It leaves you in suspense, unable to foresee the outcomes, compelling you to keep watching. It showcases how the genre can stay fresh, imaginative, and engaging by embracing an original viewpoint and exploring its darker elements. Now, let's talk about Invincible. Invincible is an animated superhero show that is adapted from a comic book series with the same title. It's not exactly the same as The Boys, but it offers its own unique spin on superhero storytelling. When you first watch Invincible, the episode feels more like your typical superhero show. There's Omni-Man, who appears to be the Superman at the show. Then you have the Guardians of the Globe. I mean, it's definitely a knockoff version of the Guardians of the Galaxy. Martian Man is like John Jones. There's a Wonder Woman lookalike and even a Flash clone. But then suddenly in the last scene of the episode, things change fast, and we watch the most gory animation fight you will ever watch in your life. This sets the tone that nobody is safe, and you can't predict anything. It's the same reason Game of Thrones was so successful. Nobody was safe, and anything could happen. And while it embraces the classic themes of good versus evil and the trials of growing up, the show stands out with its modern storytelling, mature themes, and unexpected plot twists. Take, for instance, the central character, Mark Grayson, or Invincible. His transition from an innocent teen to a battle-hardened hero is fraught with obstacles that challenge conventional superhero norms, introducing elements of realism and unpredictability. This evolution is marked by intense experiences, such as the brutal reality check he faces during his first real fight with Battle Beast, which almost killed him. Each time he fights in Season 1, he loses. This starkly contrasts with the typically smooth transition of heroes in traditional narratives. Additionally, his complex relationship with his father, Omni-Man, particularly after the shocking revelation of Omni-Man's true intentions, adds layers of emotional depth and moral ambiguity, defying the black and white morality often seen in standard superhero stories. Now, Marvel has been pretty guilty of giving us very one-dimensional characters. Take Gore, the God Butcher, for instance. His transformation into a villain is triggered solely by the loss of his daughter, which he attributes to the god's neglect. Now, just because of that,
all gods will die.
Really? Such an extreme reaction seems overly simplified, primarily serving to construct a villainous storyline. Invincible, on the other hand, explores the complexities of its characters and really works hard to develop the heroes and villains. Mark Grayson is relatable because he faces challenges in trying to manage his life as a superhero while also maintaining his personal life and relationships. Omni-Man, initially a classic superhero figure and an inspiration to his son Mark, undergoes a complex evolution. His Viltrumite origins and mission, revealed throughout the series, add depth and challenge initial perceptions of him. His morally ambiguous actions, particularly in the first episode's climax, starkly contrast his fatherly image, creating a compelling internal conflict. This complexity is further heightened by his genuine, yet conflicted relationships with his son and wife, which drive much of the series' tension. Even the side characters, like Mark's mother Debbie, are developed well. Debbie's journey through the series, especially in dealing with the truths about her husband, Omni-Man, adds a poignant and humanizing aspect to the story. Her struggles and strengths make her a relatable and integral part of the narrative. Mark's girlfriend, Amber, provides a narrative that explores the difficulties of dating a superhero. Her character goes beyond just being a love interest. She's portrayed with her own agency and perspectives, adding to the show's exploration of personal relationships. The Boys disrupts the norm with its unapologetic rawness, dark humor, and incisive critique of power and celebrity in the superhero narrative. Invincible intertwines classic superhero elements with mature, real-world themes, creating a narrative that's both thrilling and emotionally resonant. Marvel, in contrast, has traditionally opted for a lighter, more straightforward style, focusing on the archetypal battle between good and evil. While successful, this formula has begun to feel predictable in the wake of the genre's evolution. The Boys and Invincible break new ground with morally complex characters and layered storylines, pushing the audience to question their preconceptions. These divergent paths demonstrate the superhero genre's capacity for depth and diversity. The Boys and Invincible have not only entertained but also provoked thought, addressing societal issues and challenging the traditional hero-villain paradigm. They've invigorated the genre, opening doors for future narratives that are innovative and boundary-pushing. As the superhero genre continues to evolve, it's pretty thrilling to consider what innovative narratives lie ahead. Inspired by The Boys and Invincible, the future promises stories that challenge norms and redefine superhero storytelling. With that said, if you got this far and found this video interesting, consider subscribing. It really does help out the channel.